I was 4 years old, living in one of the most dangerous parts of London at night, hearing bottles getting smashed over people's heads, bars, fights, cars racing past, all while I'm trying to sleep. And this is what I grew up in. And so when I tell people that I can fall asleep anywhere, and it's something that I taught myself to do, they look shocked. But you can ask anyone, you can ask my brother, they'll tell you. This is something that I learned to do, especially because as a child, my senses were even more heightened. So it wasn't even just the physical things that I was seeing, there were also spiritual things that I was seeing at the time. I want to be able to help people in the same way that others have helped me in my journey. And so this video is going to be about sleep and about rest. Okay, I am someone who can sleep anywhere, anytime, any place. And this wasn't a special gift I was born with, it's something that I had to develop. And I want to tell you guys how. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I literally just released an ebook where I go through the whole process of everything that I did. And I want to give you guys a little bit of guidance, whether you deal with insomnia, whether you try to fall asleep quickly but can't, if you have issues. So I've never done this before, but I grew up in London. We moved around London quite a bit. But from my early childhood, we lived in North London, and we lived on a very busy street in an area where a lot would go on, okay? So imagine I'm 3 or 4, and every night I had to fall asleep to fights, people smashing bottles over people's heads, people screaming, cars screeching, people were getting stabbed on my street, all sorts was going on, right? It was a very dark place. Now, I'm 3 or 4, and you know as a child you're even more sensitive than most adults are, because children, when they arrive in this world, have other senses outside of just the normal. I mean, everyone does, but they're just a little bit more developed, right? So on top of all of that, I would also see things around the house and hear things, and there'd be certain objects, and I'd tell my mum, we need to get rid of those objects because there are things attached to them, all sorts. The reason why I'm saying this is because all of these things used to affect my sleep. Things outside of the house and things inside of the house. But what I did was, over the next 3 or 4 years, I figured out how I could pretty much sleep through anything. And it was very simple. And the process in which I'm going to give you is going to be very simple. But I went from literally struggling to sleep because I'm hearing bottles smashing over people's heads, to being able to hear all of it, know what's going on, and sleep anywhere like that. And if you don't believe me, you can ask my brother, because I can still do this literally to this day. Even this floor, hard ceramic floor, if I had to sleep outside, I could sleep outside. Now, sleep isn't just about shutting your eyes and relaxing your body. What makes sleep more easy to shift into is something called rest. Rest is what you do when you meditate. Rest is also what you do when you do recreational activities. But if you can learn to live from rest, you can learn to sleep a lot better, and you can learn to fall asleep a lot quicker. Ultimately, what you're doing is you're training your mind to relax more so that it can slip into that state of being passive, okay? And as I said, there are a list of exercises all contained within the book that I literally just released, where it's very practical and I break this down step by step. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I've seen family members of my own struggle due to sleep. I've seen people that I know end up in mental institutions due to lack of sleep. Sleep is very important. And so I believe that people should take their sleep more seriously. I believe that it's important because when you're going around the day and you have things that you want to achieve, if your body can't recharge itself, then eventually you're going to burn out, and eventually you're going to run out. Now, this is something also, these same techniques are things that I've used at work, okay? Like times where I've been working and I had small pockets or windows where I needed to rest, not even necessarily just sleep, but just to rest. Because there are techniques I'm going to teach you guys in the future where you can still stay awake but enter such a calm, relaxed state that your body re-energizes itself. And that's what I used to do at work as well. I used to slip into those states intentionally in 20 to 25, sometimes 30-minute windows, and then I'll come back on the job recharge, which is why I was never tired. Even if I went to bed at 2 a.m. and had to start work at like 9 or 8:30 or something like that. I mean, I've been on holiday recently. I was going to bed at 4 and waking up at 7:30 every day for like a week straight. No energy issues whatsoever. The point I'm making is this, okay? If you're someone who struggles with sleep, if you're someone who just can't, you've tried meditation, you've tried, different teas, you tried, listening to different audio files, etc., and it doesn't work, I have a solution for you, okay? If you read any of my writing, you know it's no nonsense. It's straight to the point. It's something that I developed for myself. And remember, if I can learn to fall asleep to bottle smashing on people's heads, people getting stabbed, women screaming, like bars being filled. This was all on my street, right? It was in central London. If I can learn to fall asleep to that, then I know that you can learn to fall asleep in the midst of anywhere. I know you can. I fall asleep at airports, wherever you want, wherever you choose. It is possible. And I'm here to help you. So having said that, if it's something that you're interested in, I would strongly recommend you check out the book. I would also strongly recommend you message me directly. There is a community being set up on WhatsApp that you can now join if you can find it. It's a challenge for you to find it. If you really want it, you'll find it. And you unlock access to me directly where we can talk. If you buy the book, it will be included in the book so you can join and you can begin to talk to me about your progress, because essentially what I give you is I give you a list of exercises, I give you a list of problems and the direct solutions to them, all right? I'm a very no-nonsense guy. I don't want to confuse people with different techniques and this and that. I want to give people stuff that works, okay? And I can tell you and I can vouch for it because I've done this with other people. I've given them the same techniques that I've used, okay? And what these techniques are, if you're wondering, is you're simply teaching your mind to relax, to be still, telling your nervous system that it's safe to sleep in the midst of all of that chaos that's going on. And there are ways you can do it if you practice. They do it in the military. But having said that, guys, I'm Eternos, and peace.